Hi, dyslexic genius here, Brad Hurt. What I'm going to talk about is an Edison Amberola 1A cylinder player and the little interesting things about the motors and other things that I've done for this customer. One is, this is the early one, and it doesn't have end caps on the spring barrels. And then the first thing is, the shaft that goes through the spring barrels here has a screw. And you'll say, oh no, that's not an Edison screw. Well, that's because this is the spring barrel shaft, and there's a slot here and a slot at the other side. But when people put screws in, they think the screw should go all the way down and touch inside this shaft. But in reality, the shaft kind of turns also. So the screw comes down and just kind of holds it in place, but not tightening it down. And what I do on these when I do them is I mathematically figure out the top part of the screw where it bottoms out here to about the middle of this shaft. So when the screw comes in, it's just resting about halfway in that little shaft. This is a shaft off one. The other thing is, you'll see here, this is a later one. Edison's machine work was not up to par then when they did this. See how this is kind of machined badly, and see how this one's badly. See how this early one was all machined off, polished out on the end, rounded to make it look very nice. And I put this in, my customer wanted this safety piece here. I don't know why, but I built one for that.
Well, what is it?
It's to stop the crank from shaking a lot. I still have to adjust this a little so it doesn't move back and forth. He has a problem with that. The other thing is the screws to grease your spring barrels. You undo these and then you inject grease in. I re-blued all those. I re-blued all the screws on it all the way around.
Does this have two springs?
This has two 2¼ inch springs. I had to wait like 9 months to find the springs, old new stock for this. I put a stainless steel set screw here because he said, Brett, I want you to do the aesthetically pleasing motor. And I do this for people. So what happens is, you can see the slot right here on the, just a minute, I'll play with it. You see here, I put in a stainless steel set screw. I put one on this shaft and the lower drive gear back there, because when you do it, and you'll say, oh no, that's not Edison. But when you look at the motor, it looks cleaner. You know, you don't have these little screws sticking up like on a Triumph, but it does look a little cleaner on the motors. The other thing is, I put a set screw here for the brake system. Because when you do the brake, you'll hear this, I'll let you hear it when it's not on the cabinet. It's running absolutely silent. So to adjust your brake, if you have an Amberola 1A and have a brake problem, you have to, there's these two little knobs here. This goes down, over, and that's on. And then this goes up and over and stops. Right there. Now everything got loose. I have to fix that. But that's the brake. What you have to do is undo this screw, and it takes a couple of tries, and push. You have to have another hand. You have to push this into here and push this into here.
What are all those, what's that curly wire?
This curly is a spring for it.
Oh.
Right here. I still have to adjust the brake. But on 1A's, you see the 4-spring governor. I'll show you something. Watch this. This is like a Tesla. Stop, on, stop. You see how fast that comes up to power? This is a 1A. You can just play all day long. This is fun. You know, I love this hobby, and it's a lot of fun. And one other thing is, on the belt tensioner here, I built a new shaft through here and enlarged it just a wee bit over the other one, because this pulley right here that goes on the belt for tensioning, that spins, was a little out of round from no oil and stuff. So I built a whole new pin for that too also. Nice little things to do. These are great motors. I mean, these are like, for Edison, this is their Rolls-Royce motor. You know, I love this hobby, and that's my tip for the day.